Greetings to all, and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. My name is Mark Millward of the West Indian Social Club of Hartford, and I'm your host. The Jamaica Diaspora Show is aimed at providing viewers with coverage of diaspora news and activities in a variety of areas, including business, arts, health, education, entertainment, politics, immigration, trade, and investment. Our first show featured an exclusive interview with the Most Honorable Andrew P. Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, who talked about the Economic Growth Council and harnessing the power of the diaspora. Tune in for more coverage in the future on the activities of the Economic Growth Council and diaspora engagement. Hartford, Connecticut is the third largest population of Jamaicans in the United States, behind Miami and New York. We intend to provide our viewing audience with global diaspora perspectives and coverage from the US, UK, Canada, Jamaica, and of course the Caribbean. Please join us weekly, Saturdays at 2 p.m. and Sundays at 3 p.m. on Hartford Public Access Television, providing global television network coverage at www.hpatv.org. And we are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with the president, Richard Gordon. Richard, please share with the viewers your thoughts on this evening.
Well, basically, this is our birthday, 68. It's also a celebration of all that we have been through, and basically a reminder of what is to come. We've had our difficult years, but we have had more good years than bad. So it was a time for us to celebrate our anniversary, our birthday, with old friends and new friends.
Well, you know, your keynote speech to the audience reflected on the organization's history. And you pointed out some pretty accurate descriptions as you talked about how the founding fathers founded this organization and what it has become today, when in fact it was their original intent just to have a meeting place. But the end result is a organization that has actually fostered a community. So in revelation of that, and in your recent interview on the Jamaica Diaspora Show, you spoke in terms of mobilizing this community, and you have, you know, within your reach, and you have this organization. So how do you plan to go forward with that announcement on mobilizing the community?
Well, to hit on your first point first, the fact that the original mission of the West Indian Social Club was to form or have a gathering place for West Indians. Well, like anything else, we've evolved. We could not in good conscience, I think, and I'm reading the former minds of the founders, we could not in good conscience live in this community and not shape it or impact it in some kind of way. And I believe we have, quite positively. It's testament to the fact that we're still around, still doing great works. Now, with respect to the representation aspect of your question, we are now the #1 immigrant community in the state of Connecticut. For about 90 years, it was Italians, then the Poles, and now it's Jamaicans primarily. That, shall I say, esteemed position should not translate into some political representation. And so part of my goal as president of the organization is to get all the other brother and sister organizations to join in and to have provide some kind of forum where we can discuss our position and what it should mean, especially in the context of representation.
Well, now our mayor, Mayor Luke Bronin, will be visiting the Jamaica Diaspora Show this weekend to talk about issues of concerns to the citizen community. Do you have any pressing issues that would be the highlight of your inquiries with regards to that interview?
Well, there are two. Number one, as a Hartford resident, I'm concerned about the financial health of the city. Number two, and this is a point that has been championed many times by the mayor, and that is the fact that neighboring towns, at least the residents of neighboring towns, use roads and avenues every day. And yet we don't realize any, shall I say, any revenues from those continued use. Our streets go to hell, and the responsibility to repair them lie or rest squarely on the heads and shoulders of the city residents. I think, and I support the mayor's efforts to correct that situation.
Well, that certainly is an area that I'm aware of, and certainly is one that hopefully we can raise as a topic with the mayor in that interview. But thank you very much, Richard, for giving me this time. It's a wonderful occasion this evening for the West Indian Social Club. We look to support you in all your efforts. It resonates with many of the members of the organization and the community when you have communicated your interest in organizing this community and getting people to be more politically active.
Thank you, my brother, and it's good to see you again.
All right, thanks. I am standing here with Colin Edwards, former president of the Jamaica Progressive League, and we are at the 68th anniversary ball of the West Indian Social Club. Colin, can you please share your thoughts on this evening?
Well, West Indian Social Club is a mother of the social organization in the Hartford area. And then we have to respect that part of it, because they are the organization that plant the roots for the organization to come along.
Now, our current president, Richard Gordon, spoke about mobilizing the community to be more politically active. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's, in my opinion, it's relevant because politics, is an entity that rule around our life. So I appreciate the fact that he mentioned that, because we, as a West Indian, we make a lot of progress as far as the social aspect of Hartford is concerned. So politically, it's very, very relevant for us to get involved in that arena.
Yes. So now that you're former president of the Jamaica Progressive League Hartford branch, I want to note that it is the Hartford branch. You're still active.
Yeah, in terms of foundation member,
Okay.
that is embedded in me personally to be active. In that I make myself available for sharing whatever goes on, my opinion toward the future of the chapter and all like that. So I'm very relevant. But in regards to be meeting every month from here right now socially, it's not possible. I've gone to my social life. But my heart is in the chapter, period.
Well, Colin, you have certainly served in this community for many years, and your contributions have been well recognized. And I just want to thank you for that, and also thank you for giving me this time.
Thank you very much, because I've been knowing you for quite a while, and I appreciate your activity in the arena per se, and I'm very, very relaxed where that is concerned. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, sir. All right. Thanks. We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with Ms. Veronica Airy Wilson, who is a former president, but the first woman president of this organization. We are celebrating our 68th anniversary, historic celebration date. Veronica, please share your thoughts with the viewers.
Oh, it is really a fantastic evening, and I feel so very proud to be part of this organization. My forefather, or many of our forefathers, were the original founders of this organization, and I feel very, very proud that we're able to keep it going for 68 years. I grew up in the organization as a little girl. I was a member of the Junior Auxiliary. Then I was a member of the Ladies Auxiliary when women weren't allowed to be members of the main body. And then in the 70s, late 70s, women were inducted into the main body. And at that time, I was in college. So when I came back to Hartford, and I was able to continue with the Ladies Auxiliary, it was a real pleasure that in 1990, I was the first woman president. Can you believe that? Yes. So it's really great to see our friends and family out enjoying this facility. It is the largest of its kind in New England, and I just feel very proud to be part of it.
Well, you know, the West Indian Social Club has been known as the home away from home. And for our viewers, for our international audience, they are not aware that you being the first woman president actually are viewed by many residents as our Queen of Queens. Our
That's very nice.
Portia Simpson here in the home away from home, having cracked the mold and became the first woman president was a monumental task in this organization with Jamaican men. So that is
Yes.
something to be.
If you've ever had to deal with the men from the Caribbean, you know that it can be very difficult. But I think I had a little ins because of the fact that I grew up in the organization and everyone thought of me as their little girl. So they kind of mentored me all the way through. And I have to big it up to Keith Carr Sr. for making it all possible, because he served as my mentor and I functioned in a variety of capacity under his administration until I was ready, and he was very, very supportive. So I have to really give him a lot of credit for where I am today. I also have to give people like the Reverend Colin Bennett, who also was a mentor politically, because I'm not only the first woman president of this organization, but I'm the first Caribbean West Indian as deputy mayor for the city of Hartford. And so that's also a very significant experience.
Definitely a significant experience. So Veronica, once again, thank you.
It's a pleasure, and thank you for the work that you do for our community.
Okay.
We really appreciate it also. Thank you.
We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball, and I am here now with a participant or attendee that I am meeting now for the first time. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Carolyn Vermont, recipient of the Community Service Award.
Okay, so I think I missed that one. And can you please tell us about your service in the community in Bridgeport, is it?
Yes, I'm very involved in Bridgeport. As a matter of fact, I'm running for state senator in the 23rd Senatorial District, covering parts of Bridgeport and Stratford. My other involvement entails being the president-elect for the Rotary Club, also public relations chair for the West Indian American Association, board secretary for Habitat for Humanity, charter member of National Coalition of 100 Black Women, also serve as a shepherd's mentor, and just involved with a lot of organizations in the community.
Well, now, have not had the opportunity to meet you previously, but I would like to invite you to come to the Jamaica Diaspora Show at Hartford Public Access Television and talk more about what you've been doing in the community, as well as what you plan to do in your run for elective office.
Most certainly. Thank you for the invitation. I definitely would like to come to the show.
Now, you have a lot of activity that you're currently involved with. Now, what's your mandate? Everyone has a primary agenda when they're moving forward in elective office. What is your...
Yes, so my three primary areas are public safety, gun violence prevention. Right now, in my capacity as Director of Urban Initiatives for Connecticut Against Gun Violence, I have the opportunity to work with state legislatures around gun laws. We currently have 2 bills that have made it to the General Assembly. One is to eliminate bump stocks, and the other one is to regulate ghost guns. Secondly, my other primary area is education. I believe that every student should have access to quality education regardless of their zip code. And my third primary area is job creation, economic development. I do feel that in order for families to have all their basic needs met, they need jobs. And if our young people have jobs, then we don't have to worry so much about them participating in antisocial behavior, which leads to crime, gun violence, and other ills in the community.
Now you were honored this evening by the West Indian Social Club.
Yes.
The president of the West Indian Social Club, Richard Gordon, has spoken about mobilizing the community for political activism. And were you aware of that?
Actually, I was not aware of that. Being in Bridgeport, I do miss out on some of the things that are happening in Hartford. I'm heavily involved with the West Indian American Association in Bridgeport. So I'm glad you shared that with me, because that's something I will follow up on.
Okay, and Thank you so much. And the invitation stands because I would like to learn more about you and hopefully that the community can support you in your run for office.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And we are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I'm here now with Ludlow Francis, former president of the West Indian Social Club. Ludlow, please share with our viewers your thoughts on this evening.
Well, Mark, it's one of those occasions where we look forward to every year. This is our 68th anniversary. The earlier members plant the seed. We are like the mother of most of the organizations. They plant the seed, we're nurturing it, and we hope that the younger generation will bring it forward to make it into fruition. This is a wonderful organization. We are wanting it to succeed, and we're hoping it will prosper.
Now, our founders, which founded this organization in 1950, founded it on the basis of them wanting to have a social organization where they could play their dominoes, chat up their chat talk, be familiar or engage with people that were familiar with the customs and traditions of Caribbean life. However, when they started this organization, they never envisioned, I don't think, that it would evolve to becoming the organization that it is now, which is an organization that leads the community in education, in health, in business development, in a lot of civic areas. Can you speak on that?
Well, we are well-rounded, as you already know, but the name that they used was the home away from home. And we have continued to use that name because indeed that's what it is for us. The dominoes, the cricket, we have evolved a lot. We have evolved with a lot of things that we did back home or from the Caribbean in general. We're not just speaking of just Jamaicans. It was a Caribbean. It's a West Indian social club. So, you know, with a lot of things that we have put in place, and we're hoping that the future generation will continue and see the vision and see how prosperous we have been and how they can evolve and make this place better. And that's my hope for this place right now.
Ludlow, thank you very much for giving me this time.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for having me. Have a good evening.
We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with former President Marva Wilkes. And so, Marva, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this evening of this historic occasion, 68 years.
Wow, 68 years. I think it went very well. Although we had a late start, I think it picked up, and I love that the honorees were very brief with their statements, but I was mostly impressed with Valmore Stewart Jr. He was very articulate for a young man, and I am just so, it makes me feel warm all over to know that there's a 17-year-old young black man that's out there doing all that he's doing and really making a difference in his community. So it gives us hope. And I just want to say congratulations to his parents for, raising such an excellent, good young man. And I just want to say congratulations also to all the honorees this evening that we honored, community education, and so on and so forth. So 68 years. I can't believe it. It's amazing how far we've come in. We are one of the few organizations that are still up, and holding strong. And we just really want to thank our founding fathers and the members of the West Indian Social Club and people like you, Mark, who keep the information going out to the community and let them know that we're still here.
Well, Marva, you have been instrumental in leading this organization and enabling the organization to do all that it has done in terms of the services that it has offered in education, health, business, all of the civic areas. And it seems that there's been a trend that former presidents have been coming back and taking on that leadership. Is this something that we can expect from you?
I will give my all in whatever I can do for the organization. Coming back as president, I'm not sure. We'll see where the need lies. And if it happens and I really have to do it, then of course I'll do it, because once I'm committed to something, I'm committed to it for life. So, if they need me in any capacity, I'll be here. If it's presidency at some point, maybe I'll come back.
Well, now the current president is talking about mobilizing the community for political activism.
Yes.
Have you been aware of that?
No, I wasn't. So I'm sure I'll hear more as he has more meetings and stuff like that. But that's a good thing, I think. What do you think?
Well, I'm here to support whatever the leadership is engaged in.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, I am too. So again, West Indian Social Club, 68 years and counting, and 70th is right around the corner. I can't believe it. So I hope that all the people that were here this evening will come back throughout the year to all our activities. I know we have Mother's Day and Father's Day program coming up. Tomorrow, actually, we are going to install the third West Indian young man as a Boy Scout.
Eagle Scout?
Eagle Scout, rather. And it's going to be right here at 2:30 in the afternoon. I mean, we have to be proud of that. To become an Eagle Scout is like a most amazing task and dedication that you have to put yourself in. And to know that we have had 3, this is going to be our third one.
Our third.
Yes, this is going to be our third one that, is becoming an Eagle Scout. That's something to be proud of. So, again, this is what we do. We really uplift the community and make them know that it's not all bad. It's not all about the drugs and everything else that's going on, but positive, very positive things happening in our community.
Thank you so much, Marvin.
Thank you, Mark. Have a great evening.
All right, thanks. The West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with Clive Garrison, who is the first vice president. Clive, can you give us your thoughts for this evening so far, the event that's taking place now?
Well, personally, every year I really take this event personal, because it bears so much great significance on our history of the organization, and this is the time when you find various type of people visit this program, and they get an understanding of our culture of this organization and where this organization is coming from. So it means a lot to me.
This is an organization in its 68th year, founded by immigrant Jamaican farm workers. The West Indian Social Club is the home away from home. And for many Jamaicans who have left home, this is now the primary home.
Yes, it is. And the other day, I was just yesterday, I was looking at a chart with the previous home away from home, where they started. Mm-hmm. And I was amazed, because it was just a house, and I was like, oh God, my God, look where this is coming from. And now to see that we are in a building and we are so broad across, not even in America, but worldwide. Mm-hmm. Because everywhere in the world you go and you talk about West Indian in Hartford, the first thing you might hear is the West Indian Social Club. Yes. And it does mean a lot to me, and mm-hmm. So as the first vice president, I'm committed in keeping up the culture of our founding fathers.
Let me tell you, Clive, I picked up a book. It was Hartford, Connecticut, 1784 to 1984. Yeah. It was a history book that I purchased as a gift to bring to someone. And in that book, there was actually one page that was devoted to the black community.
Yes.
And it had a photo of Colin Bennett, who we all know was the first president of the Caribbean American Society. Yes. He was a councilman. He was a well-known realtor. He was the yes. first president of Najaso. Yes. But in this entire book, yes. the only page that was devoted to people of color was that picture of Colin Bennett, okay. and it said the West Indian Social Club. Okay. has been instrumental in providing opportunities for growth in individuals, and this is one man as an example.
Yeah, and that's huge. And when I look at it, and I look at around the Hartford community, even if you're not affiliated with the West Indian Social Club, and you're a West Indian, somewhere along the line, you are being benefit from what these people have done. And the West Indian Social Club, if you look at our membership and our a member who's active and who is not active, those are not active. Most of them, they branch out from here. They gain their experience and they branch out and they move on to other things. And we have various sectors of people in terms of professions and all of that. And it's amazing what these 5 or 6 young men come from Jamaica as a farm worker, and they started this movement. And we have to carry the baton because they set the foundation for us.
Well, Clive, I'm here to support you. You've been doing a fine job in all your roles, from being the first vice president. It's been the last 3-4 years you've been on the executive board, and also your work in helping us keep this facilities intact. Thank you so much for stopping and speaking to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. And the evening's not over, so we've got more in store.
And thank you, Mark, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. That's a wrap. We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with Desmond Collins, who is the president of the West Indian Foundation. Desmond, good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. So, what did you think of the evening?
Wonderful. It's a wonderful evening. I've always enjoyed coming to the West Indian Social Club. As you know, it's one of the stalwart organizations in the community, and they're 68 years back. So I'm really glad to be here and to support the cause.
Now, the last time we spoke was at the West Indian Foundation's scholarship banquet.
Yes.
On that occasion, Senator McClory was gracious enough to announce the award of a substantial amount. What was that amount?
Well, the Senator McClory was very instrumental in receiving some state funding for the West Indian Foundation, and he announced that the amount will be $75,000. I'm glad to say that we got a little bit more than what he had announced initially, so we're very pleased and happy with that. Right. So clearly the funds are to be distributed among the community and some of the community organizations that have been very popular around the things that they have done in terms of the West Indian culture and the West Indian community. So we're in the process of putting together some grants, and some awards have been made, and we're also working through our next cycle to present some additional funding for our community. So we're very glad that Senator McCrory stepped up to the plate and provided the community with a lot of funding that is very, very needed.
So does it look like we'll have another parade? Because you were very instrumental in making that happen.
Well, there's a lot of other organizations that are very instrumental, and we just play our part. And whatever we can do, we certainly will continue to do that. And all indication is that we will have another parade this year.
Thank you so much. And Hartford Public Access Television will be there to support you in your future endeavors.
We're looking forward to you guys being there. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We are at the West Indian Social Club, and we are celebrating an evening of festivities on the occasion of the 68th anniversary ball. Violette Haldane is the vice president of the West Indian Foundation, a sister organization and an organization that was a spinoff of the West Indian Social Club. The West Indian Foundation is the nonprofit arm of the West Indian Social Club. Violette, can you speak to us about this evening?
This has been a wonderful evening. The Social Club celebrating 68 years. The foundation will be celebrating 40 years this year, and it was a very nice event.
Now, just spoke to your president recently, and he seemed to be very energized, and the funds that they've received that will enable the organization to deliver more services in the community or further services to the community. Do we expect to see you actively involved in the coming year?
Where the foundation is actively involved in the community already. As you know,
I was speaking about you in particular.
I'm very active in the community. Right now, some of the things that I help with the foundation is we run our summer program, and I work with the staff there to make sure that all the needs of the kids are met, whether it's we have food, resources. Right now, one thing that I'm really proud of is we're currently feeding about 75 to 200 kids a week at the Albany Avenue Branch Library in Hartford. We feed them on Fridays. The kids arrive around 1 and they stay there until about 6. So the foundation, is very active, and I'm a part of the foundation. I help to see that, we stay involved.
Well, you are an advocate.
Yes, I am.
A recent 100 Women of Color honoree,
Yes.
also.
Yes.
Thank you so much for giving me this time.
Thank you.
And look forward to the services that you have been providing in the community and your continued service to the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here with former President Doreen Flowers. Doreen, please talk to us about your thoughts on this evening.
Wonderful, Evelyn. It's so amazing that this organization has existed for 68 years. It's the oldest active West Indian organization in North America, and it has thrived and has still continued to be the beacon for West Indians in our community and for West Indians across the country.
Now you were the president. In what year were you serving as president?
I served in 01 and 02.
All right. Now, it seems to be a trend that past presidents are coming back and leading this organization again. Is that in your future also?
I haven't thought about that. I was the third woman president in the organization. And what I'm glad about is that the doors have opened for women. And so we have to thank Leslie Perry for that, a past president as well, who have managed to incorporate women into the actual structure and organization, of the functioning body of the board. Now, not to say that women weren't active all the time, because they were certainly the backbone of the organization, even though sometimes they weren't allowed to make some official decisions. But us West Indian women, we know really how to shake and bake.
Oh, yeah. Strong will, yes, we know. But now, to my question, is it a possibility for you?
I don't think so. I'm doing a lot more things outside of my community as well as inside my community. So what I strive to do is go out and do things that can also benefit my community and bring it back home. So those are the things that I've been doing, including, being a commission on the Hartford City Golf Commission. A lot of us don't play golf in our community. Some of us do. So I would encourage, folks to look out, in other directions. So there are other things, many things happening in Hartford that we can also get involved in, that we can bring back home, so to speak.
Thank you, Doreen. You're still active, I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here with the MC of ceremonies, Mr. OG. Now, OG is going to tell you his real name.
My real name is Ogeo Cornaldo Egbesa. I was born in Evanston, Illinois, and my father is Nigerian. That is the basis of my name. However, my mother is Jamaican, thus being here at the West Indian Social Club, embracing my heritage.
Well, OG, now you did a fine job in your as you always do, and please tell us what your thoughts are on this occasion, because this is a always the anniversary ball for the West Indian Social Club is a historic occasion. Can you please speak to us about that history?
Yes, I'll speak on it a little bit very briefly. Lord knows I'm very brief, but just thinking of everything that the United States has seen since 1950 and thinking of how this city of Hartford has changed and the fact that this organization has been around that entire time is truly monumental. I mean, 68 years. Most times if you have a second annual event, everyone is high-fiving each other, but to have it continuously every year for 68 is really a testament to the organization itself and really all the hard work that goes into putting on an event like this.
Now, you are, for those of us, that have been with the organization for many years, you're pretty much a newcomer, but you are a strong, upcoming newcomer. You have been emceeing the anniversary ball for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And you have been instrumental in establishing a program here. Can you talk about that?
Definitely. Started the Caribbean American Toastmasters Club of Hartford, CATCH for short, and Toastmasters is a public speaking organization primarily, but it's also an organization which people can really enhance their leadership skills. So started that club here in 2016, January 2016. And yeah, we've been going strong ever since, and we meet every second and fourth Tuesday of the month right there in the Founders Lounge. So come on down. We'd love to see you.
Give that plug, please, because this gentleman is one of the new breed in carrying forward the tradition of the West Indian Social Club. You've been doing a fine job. And we really appreciate it, and thank you very much for giving me this time.
All right.
At some point in time, you will have to come and spend more time on the Jamaica Diaspora Show.
All right, I appreciate it. Maybe one day I'll be on the other side of the microphone, right?
That would be good. We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with State Representative, and we're just meeting, so I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Yes, I'm State Representative Joshua Hall. I represent the 7th District in Hartford.
The 7th District. Okay, so now you have been in that office, an office vacated by current State Senator Doug McClory.
Yes.
Okay, so, and you have been in this office now for how long?
Since April 28th of 2017, so it's not just a year yet, soon come.
Can you tell us about your experiences and in taking office and what you've been able to address and accomplish?
Absolutely. So just to give a little background about myself, I was a teacher for about 12 years at Weaver High School, right there in the 7th District as well. Born and raised in Hartford, and specifically in the 7th District. So that's my community. I've been there ever since, and moved back with my beautiful wife and my 2 boys. So
now you went to school in Hartford?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where'd you graduate?
So I graduated from Hartford Public High School.
Okay, what year?
1990.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So that's my story, and so it's been a whirlwind. The election last year was very contentious, which is what we want our community to be engaged in who they want to represent them. And so fortunately I was able to come out victorious, but the most important thing is making sure I represent my community at the Capitol, making sure their issues are represented on a daily basis.
What is your burning platform right now? What are you?
So one of the most important things for us right now as a Hartford delegation, but more specifically as me as state representative, to make sure that we have schools that attune or cater to our neighborhoods, right? And part of the challenge is that our folks who are moving in don't see opportunities for their children as far as education is concerned, and we're trying to make sure that that happens for them. We know that Hartford is going through some challenging fiscal times, as with the state of Connecticut, and as a Hartford delegation, we were able to stem that tide a little bit with the support that we're able to provide to Hartford, and hopefully through that process that we can make sure that the resources that they need, that they're in our schools, happen for them. So we know that Weaver High School is being renovated, for example. We know that Martin Luther King elementary school is going to be renovated to a middle school / magnet school for our neighborhood students to be able to have access to. And so those are critical things for us and the rest of the Hartford delegation. I'm glad we're able to make sure those resources are provided for our community.
Well, State Rep, thank you so much for giving me this time, and I'd like to invite you to come to Hartford Public Access Television sometime in the future and talk more about your activities and things that you're doing in the community.
Absolutely, and I appreciate this time. One of the key things I'm working on right now is one of the challenges we have, especially with our minority contractors, construction contractors. There's this prompt payment issue where they're not getting paid properly and on time, and so those are one of the things we're trying to address right now, and hopefully that will be successful in this legislative session. And so we look for those things to come in. But I thank you for this opportunity to speak with you tonight.
Right, and thank you so much.
All right,
appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right,
all right,
all right. And we are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball. I am here now with the president of the National Association of Jamaican and Supportive Organizations, Dr. Robert Clark. Dr. Clark, please share with our viewers your thoughts on this evening.
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. And I must say I'm impressed with the turnout and all the multiple dignitaries that have been here. It's a very fun-filled and entertaining event, and you all shouldn't miss it next year.
Now, the president of the West Indian Social Club, Richard Gordon, has talked about mobilizing the West Indian community for political activism. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, of course. This should have been done a long time ago. This is a long time coming, because without that, we won't have a common voice, united. There are so many things going on now that are going against the Caribbean community, and we all have to be united as one voice, to really combat all of that. We know about Trumpism, I'm not afraid to say that, among other things. So again, yes, we do have to unite, and that's the only way that we can stand up and be counted and have a voice in Washington and the whole United States.
Now, in a recent interview on the Jamaica Diaspora Show, our president, Richard Gordon, he talked about joining with Najaso on its initiatives. Given the fact that he has expressed this, do you have any plans to reach out to him on that issue or on those issues?
Absolutely. We are joined at the navel, at the cord. We have the same aim, the same goal, the same destiny. Basically, it's just that they're regional and we're national. And so it's always good to join forces, because united we stand, divided we fall. I'm always a proponent of that. Cohesive as a group, we should come together, stand up, be counted, and just move forward, because ultimately we are all from the Caribbean, and we should all make sure that we do things and call on these leaders, in those offices, not to do things that is detrimental to our well-being and our natural existence in the United States.
Now you are the president of a national organization, which is significant in terms of your representation in the diaspora. Recently, we have had an appointment with a new state minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Has Najaso made an effort to reach out to the ministry and to reach out to this minister to engage in dialogue, because this minister has responsibilities specifically for the diaspora?
On the contrary, he's got to reach out to me and my organization. Ultimately he's new to this. We have been around for many years, since the 1970s. We have a role to play. We are the official 501c3 organization, umbrella organization in the United States that represents the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, but the Caribbean diaspora inside of the U.S. Because we have organizations in the UK, in Bermuda, throughout the Caribbean, and throughout, so the onus is on him to reach out to us, myself as the president, so, my doors open 24/7. He's welcome to come.
Good point, Dr. Clark. And thank you very much for giving us this time.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
We are at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball, and I'm here now with Rick Nugent, who is the immediate past president of the National Association of Jamaican and Supportive Organizations. Rick Nugent is from Maryland, and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show.
Well, I'm always happy to be here.
Thank you for coming, and the West Indian Social Club is always pleased to bring in your organization. Please share with us your thoughts on this evening.
Well, let's face it. We have been coming here for over 30 years, Mark. Why? When we look at the historical significance of this organization, it stands out among many organizations. 68 years for any organization is a milestone. You have to commend them because, it's not easy to maintain and keep any organization going, in particular Caribbean organization. So I have to commend them. I'm more than happy anytime I come here to participate in their celebration.
Now, Rick, not to be undone, you are a founder of an organization in your home state. Can you please talk to us about that organization?
That's correct. That's the Jamaican Association of Maryland. 30 years ago, it was like a vision, Mark. We need an organization to represent Jamaicans. And I felt it was necessary. So I called a group of friends and said, look, we got to do this. We need to be like a vehicle for communication among our Jamaican brothers and sisters. And so the organization gave birth. So this year we celebrate 30 years since the inception of the Jamaican Association of Maryland.
So that is quite remarkable, and that's an achievement that you should be certainly recognized for, and certainly the contributions that you have made to Najaso as well as to your home organization is to be commended, and you are certainly receiving the just due rewards and honors that you deserve.
Well, thank you for such kind compliment. And I will continue to work in that capacity as president of the Jamaican Association. In fact, we brought a full bus, just to come and celebrate with the West Indian Social Club. All we have to do is continue to work with the aims and objectives, the mission of our organization. And yes, there was some significant contribution when I was president of Najaso. I won't forget. It was an honor to serve there.
Now you are well acquainted with the president of the West Indian Social Club, having some years back. Can you talk about that?
Oh, certainly. Richard Gordon, yes. Many years ago, I was president of the Baltimore Cricket and Social Club. And we would come here and play cricket and interact. And I remember he said, I'm thinking about law school. I said, don't think about it. Just go ahead and do it. You will pass the LSAT, you will become a lawyer. Come to pass. I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
And so now, in a recent interview with Richard Gordon on the Jamaica Diaspora Show, Richard has spoken about mobilizing the diaspora community, and I know his thoughts on that doesn't just include the local community, but also the diaspora family as well. Well, the Najaso diaspora family as well.
Yes, I think that's very important. The significance behind that, getting everybody together, it's a strong unity among the diaspora. We need to bring the people together, and so we have a common voice with issues that are relevant to the Caribbean community and to the Caribbean countries. That's very important. We play a big role in advising our governments, and so what he's talking about is highly important.
Well, Rick, I've enjoyed your leadership as president of Najaso, as your public relations officer, which you appointed me, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you.
Interesting, and certainly I appreciate the services that you have extended to Najaso and to your organization here, the West Indian Social Club. All I can say is keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Thank you.
All right, and I am here with Valmore Stewart, who is the second vice president of the West Indian Social Club. Welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. This is the evening of the 68th anniversary ball for the West Indian Social Club. Can you please tell us what you think about the evening and how it's going so far?
Well, the evening is great, you know, a lot of turnout. The atmosphere, the weather, is there okay? And, you know.
Perfect weather. Perfect weather.
Yeah. And everybody's enjoying themselves so far.
So now the West Indian Social Club is celebrating 68 years. You know, truly has been a remarkable development because the founding fathers, when they formed this organization, they formed the organization with the intent of just having a place to socialize and to share in their customs. But the organization has evolved into much more than that. Can you talk about some of the things that the organization has done over the years?
Well, you know, you just got me a surprise, but, you know, well, the organization is based on the organization, the West Indian Social Club, and it's based for the community. It's for the community to come out and have a good time, interact with all organization, you know, where people come out and feel welcome. And we always open our doors for each and every one.
And we've offered programs in education, immigration, health, business, and also the entertainment. What's can you give us some highlights of what we can expect coming up after the anniversary ball?
Well, hopefully we have to restructure the events in the evening, you know, and try to bring the community together, you know, where we can have all kind of program. We have to go out and meet with the community and try to work with the community, because based on the organization, most people think it's a club, but it's more than a club, you know.
Exactly. Now, the president, Richard Gordon, was on the Jamaica Diaspora Show, and he talked about mobilizing the community for political activism.
Yeah, it's real.
So, are you? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, with the president, we got to support the decision the president make, and based on the organization, we have to comply by the guideline of the Constitution based on the memberships and you know, such nature of our organization.
Well, Valmore, thank you. I know you need to get back to the activities. I thank you for coming over and giving me this brief interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And I am at the West Indian Social Club's 68th anniversary ball, and I am here now with attorney Tanya Dorman, who is a member of this organization and a previous, chair
of the trustee board,
second vice president. Yes, and
chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Chair of the Judiciary Committee. Attorney Dorman, please tell me what your thoughts are on the occasion of the 68th anniversary ball.
This is a wonderful event. I'm very proud of the West Indian Social Club for being here for 68 years, and I am just hoping that the members and the administration of the organization will continue to keep this club vibrant and viable in our community. We have a large West Indian population, as you know, and this is one of the only entities that's been here for this long. And it belongs to the entire community pretty much, because it's a place where we welcome everyone. It's our home away from home for all West Indians in Connecticut and surrounding states in the northeast of the U.S. So I'm very proud of what our accomplishments are.
Now you mentioned that this is the home away from home. Yes. Your father was one of the founding members of this organization. Can you please tell us or share with us some of your lessons from Dad?
Okay, well, my dad was actually not a founding member. He was a migrant farm worker back in the 40s and the 50s. And, you know, someone like my dad would have really, if he were still alive, because he died like 42 years ago, but he would have been so proud of the organization.
But he was a part of it, wasn't he, when the organization was formed?
I'm not sure if he was a part of it. That's way beyond my history. My dad died, you know, when I was fairly young, so that part I haven't really developed, the historical part. But I do know he was a migrant farm worker, and he worked in this area, in the Connecticut area, back in the 40s and the 50s. I know this organization was founded in the 50s, maybe a little
1950.
bit, right, and it may have been informally organized before 1950 when it was actually, you know, formally incorporated and so on. But I think that he would have been very proud of what it is today. And he would have been very proud that I am a member and that I am here to help the organization to continue its legacy of being, you know, a valuable resource for our community.
Now, you have been a important resource for the community because your services in the legal area has been in immigration.
Right, yes. I have been part of various efforts to educate people in our community about changes in immigration law, available resources for migration of our family members and relatives who, you know, will migrate to the United States from various islands or even different countries. And we've had many community forums, seminars here. We've had a citizenship drive for people to become naturalized citizens or people who have derived citizenship through their parents or grandparents to be able to get certificates. And we've been doing a lot of work over the years to educate people and to, you know, give them information about how they can obtain immigration benefits that they're entitled to by law.
Well, you know, recently our mayor was confronted with a challenge, I would say, that he was being interviewed on a national television news channel where they were talking about the status of immigration with regards to whether or not law enforcement should be checking and verifying immigration status.
Yes. Yeah, I understand that. And Hartford is a sanctuary city, meaning that our city and even the mayor before this current mayor had, you know, implemented certain ordinances that basically allowed the Hartford Police Department to be a community police department and not an agent of the United States, you know, federal government or an agency enforcing immigration laws. As you know, most citizens or citizens in our communities, some may be lawfully admitted with documentation to reside here legally and live here legally, and there's some folks who are undocumented or they have expired immigration statuses. But the fact of the matter is the fear of deportation, the fear of being detained by immigration officials has always been an issue in our community. And so when some immigrants are crime victims, the fear of reporting crime or assisting the police in solving certain crimes deter a lot of people from, you know, helping because they're afraid that they will be deported just by trying to do the right thing. So by allowing the city of Hartford to be a sanctuary city, it allows the residents of Hartford to be just that, the residents of Hartford. And if something is happening in the city, they're able to assist in keeping our community safe, in keeping everyone comfortable and confident that our local police will be able to police our community in a safe and respectful manner without having to be afraid that by coming forward to report information or by coming forward to get help, that they will automatically be deported. As you know, deportation is a major issue because a lot of families are destroyed by deportation. Some primary wage earners, breadwinners are deported while their children and wives who are or spouses who are generally, some of them are sick and they need that other spouse for support, for medical insurance, for whatever assistance they could get. If they're deported, where does that leave the family? So in a lot of ways, deportation is a very destructive device on a larger scale. And I do understand that we need to respect the immigration laws and we need to make sure that people are abiding by those laws. But we have a situation where the system is so broken that many people now are in, between a rock and a hard place because they've been here at a time when enforcement was not so focused. Yeah. And now it is. And they have children, they have grandchildren, and they have equities here, they own property, they have businesses. Some of them have been so invested in our community in more ways than
some are even in the military.
Yes, and so many things have been, they've benefited the community in so many good ways that the deportation of those individuals is just, it's a tragedy.
Now, one thing that I would like for you to define for our viewers, please define sanctuary city. What does that mean?
Well, basically, the essence of it is that local police does not enforce immigration laws. So the local police is not obligated to report the immigration status of individuals when the police is making an arrest or investigating a crime. The immigration status of the citizens in our community is not relevant for our law enforcement objectives. Immigration has their own agency that can enforce their laws. They have investigators, they have immigration officers, they have resources that they can utilize to do their job. And so they shouldn't be asking local police who are already busy trying to keep crime rate down, trying to solve murder crimes and different things. Those guys shouldn't have to be doing immigration enforcement as well.
Well, this is just an example of the kinds of services that the West Indian Social Club has been providing to the community in terms of the information that you are providing.
A part of their community outreach where they've actually been in here with us, giving information to our community and helping our citizens in our community, our residents, to understand the difference between immigration and citizenship, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, as opposed to the deportation arm of the United States government or ICE, immigration enforcement. So.
Tanya, thank you so much because you have certainly been providing that service in immigration to the community for many years. Yes. And we thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. It's my pleasure. I always try to do the best I can with what I have, so it's my pleasure to speak with you and to offer as much information as I can about the subject, anytime.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.